I had just suffered another in a long line of injuries, even though I believed I was doing everything by the book. This got me thinking, can good running shoes prevent injury? Is it better to run with a higher stride frequency or to take longer strides? Does beetroot juice boost your performance? When I recently became a trainer at my running club, I started paying more attention to what works and what doesn't. This sparked a personal crusade to discover the science behind running. My questions led me to interview experts across a broad range of disciplines. I had my own running technique examined in an exercise lab and immersed myself in the scientific literature. Running Smart contains many insights from the world of sports science that will interest both recreational and professional runners. Some chapters offer practical advice, while others address the relationship between running and the human body. For example, is every kind of body suited to running? How often do you need to run in order to stay healthy? And how does jogging help to alleviate stress? I wrote the bulk of this book in Boston and Cambridge, Massachusetts, where I spent 6 months working in 2016 and 2017. Boston is a mecca for runners. The historical city is famous for hosting the world's oldest annual marathon, which is also one of the Abbott World Marathon Majors, the other 5 being Tokyo, London, Berlin, Chicago, and New York City. My dream is to run the Boston Marathon someday. Boston and Cambridge are great places, not only for running, but also for science and technology. And I made good use of the fact that Harvard University and Harvard Medical School were only a 10-minute bike ride from where I lived. This made it a lot easier for me to visit people like evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman, who believes that humans were born to run, and biomechanical engineer Irene Davis, who examines running techniques in her exercise lab. Their research is addressed extensively in this book. One thing I quickly discovered is that there is often a discrepancy between the facts and accepted wisdom. Athletics is a minefield of ritual and tradition, and running is no exception. While listening to this book, it may be useful to keep in mind that scientific research is usually based on groups and not on individuals. The individual runner, with all their personal and physical traits, is not the same person as the average test subject in a study. As a result, you may wonder just how applicable some scientific findings are in real life. Treating injuries, combating depression, finding the right running shoes, and preventing training overload all demand a made-to-measure approach to the individual runner in their situation. Nevertheless, there is still plenty of knowledge, for example with regard to running techniques and nutrition, that applies to almost everyone. I am under no illusion that what I have discovered along the way will keep me injury-free for the rest of my running life. However, the next time I'm at a party, I will be able to be the smarty pants, thanks to my newly acquired arsenal of information on shoes and stretching exercises. And pretty soon, so will you. 1. The Rise of the Long-Distance Runner. The real mutants are the runners who don't get injured. Christopher McDougall, Born to Run. Before 1960, you would have been regarded as a bit of an oddball if you were fond of going for a jog in the park. All that huffing and puffing did nothing but disturb the peace, and, in the eyes of the general public, people who ran around town sporting skimpy shorts were simply looking for attention. The only acceptable reason for running in public was when you were trying to catch the bus. All this began to change, however, in the 1960s and 70s, when running moved from the relatively secluded arena of athletic clubs and university campuses to the greater public realm. The story of the rise of running as a recreational activity and the multi-million-dollar business it has spawned is told in the book Running Across Europe, co-authored by Koen Breedveld from Radboud University in the Netherlands. The book is filled with mind-boggling statistics. Did you know, for example, that 826